Hello, my dear students. How are you all? I hope you will find, and I welcome to the science class for class 8. And today we are going to discuss the remaining thing of chapter 1, that is a crop production and management that we left in the first class. Okay, so without wasting time, let's get started. Okay, so today we are going to learn about the application of manure and fertilizers. So, as you know that we grow crop continuously in a field one by alternatively, okay, and this reduces the nutrients in the soil. Okay, yes. So every okay, so we can get the or we can replace the nutrients if the if we left the field if we leave the field uncultivated. Okay, yes. So but this leaving field uncultivated is not economically good. Okay, that we will have many losses. Okay, so for that reason, okay, so for that reason we use some substances. Okay, yes. Okay, for that reason we uses some substances which add okay, for that reason we uses some substances to add the nutrients in the field. Okay, and that substances are called manure and fertilizers. Okay, yes. So to replace the nutrients or to increase the level of nutrients in the soil. Okay, that is called as a those are called as a manure and fertilizer. Okay, one thing I just left, that is the following: FALLOWING. Following is the practice of leaving field uncultivated. If we leave the field uncultivated, that will be called as a following. Okay, yes, to keep it in mind. Then uh, manure and okay, manure and its type. Okay, so manure are generally the, okay, from the ancient type. Actually it is not the new. From ancient time we the people are using manure, and manure is actually the waste from animal. Okay, like the cow dung and the urine. Okay, then the waste from the field. Okay, like straw of paddy. Okay, if we have a paddy or a wheat plant. Okay, so we use this grain. Okay, and the remaining part, that is stem, is going to be used as a manure. It is going to be left over, and that's it is going to decompose, and that is going to form a manure. Okay, then other waste from the field are going to be part of the manure. Okay, yes. And then this manure can be categorized into three types, that is the farmyard, FARM, farmyard manure. Try to understand. Farmyard farmyard manure. Then uh, um, second is the compost, and third is the green green manure. Okay, so first is the farmyard manure, second is the compost manure, and third is the green manure. So we'll see one by one what are they. Okay, so first is the farmyard manure. So it is just like a simple manure. Okay, so the waste from the animal, the waste from the animal, the waste from the field. Okay, and some okay, and some other waste material are just left. We collect it and left it for decomposition. Okay, and then when it is decomposed, then it is called as a uh, farmyard manure. Okay, and in decomposition it is actually we in decomposition we put these waste into a pit. Okay, and then we add some this small insect or earthworm. Okay, and earthworms and some microorganisms. Okay, to decompose it. So when it is going to decompose like this, and that is called as a compost. Okay, yes. So where to then the so it is very little difference between the uh, mm, okay, and then the third is the green manure. Okay, green manure. So green manure actually the we grow some leguminous plant. Okay, quickly growing leguminous plant in the field, and then we plow it along, we plow this plant in the soil, okay, and then they increase the nutrients in the soil, okay. Yes, so this was the third one, okay. Yes, then we move to the uses of fertilizer over manure, okay. Why the people are using more fertilizer than manure, okay. So they are easy to carry, they are easy to carry, uh, easy to carry, easy to store, easy to transport, okay, and they are required in very less amount, okay, and that is why they the people are using fertilizer more as compared to the manure, okay. Okay, then we have some differences, but we saw that the both, okay, both fertilizer and the manure are used to increase the fertility, or the we can say the increase the nutrients in the soil, but there are some differences between the manure and fertilizer, those we will see. Okay, so the manure, it is natural, okay, it is natural, it is man made, okay. Then the second is it is organic, okay, and it is inorganic, means there is a no any chemical in it, okay, but there this is made up of chemicals, okay. Yes, then it add humus to the soil, okay, add humus to the soil, okay. Humus means it when the manure are added in the form, they increase the water holding capacity, okay, but nothing is like that, if we'll add the fertilizers, so they will increase the water holding capacity, okay. So there is no humus in this, okay. Then it is not nutrient specific, and it is nutrient specific, so this is the waste, okay. And the nutrients are very less in amount, okay, and they are actually made for the nutrients, okay, they are actually the nutrients, okay. So they are not nutrient specific, there are some amount of nutrients which are present, that is why we are using it, but they are made just because of nutrients, okay. Yes, so next is it is not nutrients, it is cheap, okay. Obviously we do not have to spend some much of money to prepare it, but we need much money to buy it, okay. Yes, then it is prepared in the field, and it is prepared in the factories, obviously, okay. Yes, then we have next thing, hazards of using manure, sorry, it should be, okay, it should be hazards of using fertilizers, not manure. Fertilizer, okay, here is the correction, hazards of using these fertilizers. So okay, so these fertilizers actually they cause pollution, okay. They cause pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, and they kill somewhat microorganisms, they kill the microorganisms like earthworm, okay. So actually the with the help even they increase the instant crop yield, but in a long term they reduce the soil nutrients, okay. They increase the instant nutrients, but in a long term they damage the soil, okay. Yes, then advantage of using manure, so all these things are advantage, okay. Advantage of using manure, they increase the humus, first thing, they increase the humus, okay. Second thing, they increase the microbes in the soil, microbes like earthworm, they increase microbes in the soil, okay. They increase the soil texture, okay. They increase the water holding capacity, okay, water holding capacity, okay. Yes, and so on. Then we come to there is another method of increasing these nutrients in the in the soil, is the crop rotation, okay. So if you are growing one field, okay, in a particular field, so definitely the nutrients will get absorbed and it will reduce, okay. So what you can do, you can alternate you can crop, you can change the crop, okay. Yes, you are like leguminous plant, okay. with the leguminous plant like pea, gram, matar. Okay, yes. So if you will one after the other plant, if you are planting wheat, okay, so after wheat if you are planting this leguminous plant, so the leguminous plant have some nitrogen fixing speciality, which increases the nitrogen in the soil. Okay, yes. So we'll see the next point is how leguminous plant increase the fertility of soil. Okay, so these leguminous plant, okay, so these leguminous plant have some special property. They are some rhizobium bacteria is found in their root. Okay, so these bacteria absorb the nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere. Okay, they absorb the nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere, and they make a compound of nitrogen, okay, which is being mixed with the soil. Okay, and then the amount of nitrogen increases in the soil. Okay, and then it is going to be used for the crop. Okay, yes. So these are the actually the bacteria, they absorb the nitrogen. They live in the root of this leguminous plant, and they form this nodule. Okay, and inside they absorb the nitrogen. Okay, yes. So what we can say, the bacteria, the rhizobium bacteria absorb the atmospheric nitrogen and convert into the compound which is going to be used by the plant. Okay, and that is called nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation. Okay, yes. Then the next thing, we have irrigation. Okay, yes. So irrigation is required for plant for their growth and development, and for to prevent it from the frost and to become dry. Okay, yes. So for these many purposes irrigation are required. So what is actually okay, so the need of water to the plant, okay, for their survival and development, and to prevent from the frost and to extreme cold, or frost means extreme cold and extreme hot. Okay, yes. So to prevent all these conditions, the water is required, sorry. So then the definition of irrigation, the providing water time to time to the plant is called as irrigation. Okay, yes. Okay, then the time and frequency of crop irrigation changes with crop to crop, soil to soil, and season to season. So just like if you talk about the crop, one side we have a wheat and one side we have a rice. So the irrigation, the number of giving water to the wheat plant is less. Okay, but in a case of rice, we have to provide a standing water in the field of rice. Okay, there should be a water, much amount of water present in the field to grow the rice. Okay, yes. So the irrigation depend upon the crop to crop. Okay, then soil to soil, so there are some soils. Okay, yes, which like if there is a sandy soil. Okay, if there is a sandy soil, okay, so we need to give the water again and again, because it will not hold the water, and the water will either water will evaporate or either water will go down. Okay, but if the soil, your soil type is like black soil. Okay, okay, so it will hold the water. Okay, and you need not to irrigate that much frequently. Okay, and in we talk about the season. Okay, so uh, season to season means, okay, uh, okay, so yes, if in case of summer, the evaporation is high, so we need to water the plant more frequently. But in case of if in winter, okay, the evaporation is less, and we need not to irrigate that much frequently. And in rainy season, we already have rain, so we need not to that much irrigate it. Okay, yes. Then example of rice. Okay, then, okay, then sources of irrigation. Okay, yes. Then sources of irrigation, then the sources of irrigation, we have rain, wells, tube wells, lakes, river, and canal and dam. Okay, so these irrigation system can be divided into two part. Okay, like one we have a traditional and one we have a modern. Okay, So we'll study one by one both. So traditional system of irrigation are like pulley system, chain pump, then rat or Persian, okay, then Deckley, okay. So in Deckley, there is a bucket like structure, okay. Yeah, and that is okay, and here is a uh, uh, rod like structure, okay, and here is some load, okay, here is some weight, some load, okay, and this bucket is tied to the rope, okay, and this bucket is deep into the water body, okay, deep into the water body, and then when the water fill it, okay, then they pour it in the field, okay. Then in the chain system, chain pump, okay, in chain system, just like you have a well, okay, so they have a wheel like structure, and then we have one rope, okay, along this rope, one rope, we have a bucket, okay, and then when okay, we inside this well we have a water, okay, when we allow to this bucket to go inside, it fill the water, and then when it come up, uh, we can drop this water in the field, okay. And then in okay, then in the rahat or Persian wheel, we have some like this, okay, in which we have a wheel, okay, and we have inside a wheel, okay, then we have this belt, okay, along this belt we have some bucket like structure, okay, bucket like structure, okay. When this wheel, and this wheel is moved by man or animal, okay, when this wheel move, okay, suppose this is a mouth, okay, when this wheel, okay, and this is filled with the water, okay, when this will move, okay, it will fill here some water and it will collect, it will go up, okay, and we have some mechanism here, okay, where this water is going to drop here, and this water is going to be directed to the field, okay. Yes, then directly we saw, then we have a pulley system, okay, yes, pulley system, in which we directly draw the water from the well, and then we put it in the field, okay. Yes, then we have a modern system, okay. So in modern method of irrigation, we have sprinkler and sprinkler system and drip system, okay, drip system, okay. Yes, so they are very economically, because they require some good infrastructure, okay. So in sprinkler, okay, so in sprinkler is used where the land is not is uneven, like in hilly area, where somewhere the land is very high, where somewhere low or high, okay. So in this type of region, this sprinkler system is used. So what happen in sprinkler, there we have a one main pipe, okay, and that is fit with the motor, okay, and then with this main pipe, we have some parallel standing pipes, okay, and then we have a nozzles, okay. When the this motor pump the water, and this water is going to this pump, okay, then they spray the water in the form of artificial rain to the standing crop, okay, and they get the water, okay. Yes, if we'll simply if in case of uneven land, if we'll allow to simply drop the water, then it will require very much of water, okay, and many of our crop in the low region will submerge and it will die, okay. So in that region, okay. Yes, then the second is drip system, okay. So what happen in drip system, drip system is used where there is a very scarcity of water, okay. So mostly in the farm where the fruits plants are growing, okay, like one plant is here, one plant 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 here, okay. So what they do, they spread a pipe, okay, and they make a hole over at the place of these roots, okay, at the place of roots, or it can be any field, okay. But the concept is that with the help of drip system, they allow a drop water, they allow to drop water drop by drop at the root of the plants. Okay, yes, when the water will flow, the drop by drop water will fall on at the place of their root, and they will get the water, and the water will very much at large extent water will be saved. This is done in mainly the water scarcity region and mainly the desert or the yes, sandy soil. Okay, yes. Then we'll move to the next thing, that is removal of weed. Okay, so before studying the removal of what are weed actually, so when we grow in a field the crop, along with the crop some uncultivated, unwanted and uncultivated grasses and some plants grow, and that plant will be called as a weed. Okay, so what are weed actually? The uncultivated, cultivated and unwanted, we do not want it, un unwanted. Okay, so uncultivated unwanted crop along the crop plant along the crop plant is called as a weeds. Okay, then all plant other than the crop are called weeds. Yes, here then weed is a unwanted. Okay, here also we have written. Okay, I have written. Okay, then the removal of weed is called weeding. Okay, yes, the next is point is the need of removal of weed. Why we need to remove these weeds? Why not to leave them to grow? Okay, so actually when we have a plant growing, our wheat or any plant, when these grasses or unwanted uncultivated plant grow, they compete with our crop plant for their nutrition, for their place. Okay, so they take the place, they take the nutrition from the soil. Okay, and so our plant will not get more space to grow more nutrients. Okay, so that is why we are required to remove them. Okay, yes. Okay, so then weeding can be done by the hand, by using trowel, or by tractor driven harrow, and by using weedicides. Okay, so we can manually remove them with the help of these instruments. Okay, or we can spray some weedicide on the plant so that the grass will die. Okay, yes, and or we can use some trowel like this. Okay, to remove the grasses and the unwanted uncultivated plant. Okay, then precautions while using weedicides. So since these weedicides are chemical, okay, so as they are harmful for the plant, they are harmful for us. If we will inhale it, if it will go in our body, it will damage, it will harm us. Okay, so the farmer should take precautions, like they should wear mask, they should cover their body parts. Okay, yes, so that it do not fall on their body and do not go inside body. Okay, yes, so that's all. Let's move. Okay, so that much only, for today. Remaining thing we'll discuss in the next class. This chapter is a little lengthy, so if we'll do in the one in the same video, so it will be become very long. Okay, okay, so we'll do the remaining thing in the next class. Okay, yes. Okay. Okay. Okay, so some students are doubt in preparation of soil. So actually preparation of soil is nothing but before planting a tree we need to prepare the soil. Okay, what do you mean by preparing the soil? So turning, if you have a field, so turning soil and loosening soil is called the preparation of soil. Okay, so what is the advantage of preparation of soil? First thing is that it remove the weed. Okay, it removes the weed. If we'll turn the soil or lose the soil with the help of plowing. Okay, so if there are some unwanted plant, they will uprooted and they will die. Okay, okay, so the first is remove the weed. Then second is it loosen the soil. loosen the soil so that the plant's root can easily penetrate in the soil. Okay, yes, if we will not plow it, if we will not prepare it, the plant's root will not be able to go inside. Okay, yes. Then third, it make aeriable. Okay, when the land become loose, okay, then the plant's root can breathe air, they can take the oxygen. Okay, yes. Then third is the turning or loosening or plowing soil help to increase the microbes like earthworm. Okay, then mm, uh, yes, okay, one thing was more, mm, yes, it help for irrigation purpose. Okay, yes. So try to you have some question, try to answer it. What are the three types of manure? Okay, what is the importance of leguminous plant? What is the soil preparation? Okay. Oh, these are the previous questions. Okay, okay, so try to answer just two questions from here. Okay, I will provide you the other set of questions. Okay, yes. So that's all for today. Thank you so much. Stay fit, stay healthy. Thank you so much.